This is Chapter 3, Introduction to Physical Education, Fitness, and Sport, Developing an Infrastructure to Support Physical Activity and Healthy Lifestyles. We must first understand exactly what is physical activity infrastructures. Facilities, spaces, and programs enabling children, youth, and adults to become and stay physically active. They must be attractive, accessible, and safe. Most current facilities make it easy to be sedentary and difficult to be active. What is needed to develop such a supportive infrastructure? We must look at the education sector. We can look at and provide access to high-quality physical education program for all students, develop state and school district policies requiring and holding accountable physical activity programs, develop partnerships, promote physical activity to children 0 to 5 years old, provide access to physical activity before and after school, encourage post-secondary institutions to provide access to physical activity, and promote training in a range of disciplinary degrees and other certificates. The Parks and Recreation should promote programs where people work, live, and play, enhance parks, recreation, fitness, and sport infrastructures, use existing professional, amateur, and college athletes and sport infrastructures, increase funding, improve physical activity monitoring, and increase social marketing efforts. What do we need to develop such a supportive infrastructure? Cooperation among organizations with similar goals to improve physical activity among the population. Federal Physical Education Progress, the PEP Act in 2001, provided funds to initiate, expand, and improve K-12 physical education. This is a federal, not a state grant. In 2010, the USD, HHS, and the Center for Disease Control and Prevention State Indicator Report on Developing Physical Activity Infrastructure provides information on a state level on key indicators related to the development of state physical education infrastructure. So you could go to this PDF form and look up what the state of Tennessee is doing. What should policies aimed at supporting physical activity include? First, funding supporting their enactment, built-in monitoring system to ensure that they are actually enacted appropriately, and a report system allowing the state to access the progress toward healthy lifestyle outcomes. Here is a short list of some organizations. First, we have the National Coalition for Promoting Physical Activity. That's the NCPPA. The Federal Physical Education for Progress. That's your PEP, PEP. The National Association for Health and Fitness. That's NAHF. And the National Recreation and Parks Association, which is the NRPA, which is the largest group for recreation. What is joint use and why is it important? Joint efforts between local government and school districts sharing resources so they can share gyms, fields, programs, and also promote and sustain physical activity approaches, co-locations of facilities, community, and schools. That's very important. Just a little statistic here, 89.1% of middle and high schools allow some type of community-sponsored physical activity facilities by youth outside of normal school hours. Now let's look at the recreation leisure services industry. Recreational sport, travel, and tourism programs provided by private sector companies. The private sector is really leading the industry. Traditional providers such as the YMCA and the YWCA community recreation programs, state recreation departments, and federal parks and recreations. Activities or experiences chosen voluntarily and done during leisure time is the definition for recreation. What about some health professions? This will help you when you are looking into what type of career you would like to go into. First, we've shifted from remedial or medical approach to a more preventive or wellness approach. Services are delivered through the school health education program, government and community health programs, nonprofit organizations, worksite health programs, and the private sector fee-for-service programs. Health enhancement industry falls into two categories. First, the private sector for-profit health enhancement industry. This has been a trend since the 1950s, an enormous growth in the recent years. The public sector, not-for-profit health organizations. Some examples would be the American Heart Association, American Cancer Society, and the American Lung Association, just to name a few. Okay, so dance is important in physical education. It is a significant human activity virtually everywhere throughout history. It's part of the school curriculum, and it's a form of physical activity. However, jazz and modern are not most often taught. It's more folk, square, social type of dance. Now we're going to look at crucial themes in defining our future and our present. There are theme 1, distributing opportunities for physical activity, making it more equal. In nations where socioeconomic distance between classes have been reduced, key health markers have improved. Homeschooling communities are really the triangle for expanded physical education. Theme 1 continue, distributing opportunities for physical activity, again, more equal. One overarching Healthy People 2020 goal is to eliminate health disparities based on race, gender, and socioeconomic standard or status. When we look at theme 2, we're focusing on younger and older populations. The older adults, tradition we used to look at children, youth, and young adults, but now we're focusing on adults. And we're looking at early childhood and preschool. Theme 3, gender equality in physical education, fitness, and sport. Since Title IX, 1972, we've made great strides, but women still suffer from discrimination in terms of access to facilities, equipment, and programs. Theme 4, toward an expanded physical education. We need more time in class. More time in class is not enough. Target recess, lunchtime, after-school physical activity and programs and times. Increase links within the community. School health educators are certified and licensed to teach it the same way all teachers are. Theme 5, inclusive rather than exclusive. The sport culture, explosion of child and youth sports. So we're having an increase of that. We are also seeing an increase in injuries because we are specializing in sports. So the same children are performing the same sport all year. Also, it leads to burnout and dropout. Sports in high school is really big, but what if you are not good enough to play on a varsity sport? What are your opportunities to play? This is the end of Chapter 3.